Step one in this cockpit update is getting the new handlebars on there. But because I'm using the Astra crisp Birch handlebars, which are crazy low and just a very different sweep, I wanted to put them in a situation where we could compare them to the bars that come stock on the Sherco. I did not clean up the garage for you guys, so do not hate me. So right now what we're gonna do, we're gonna make ourselves a comparison 2x4, 2x6, whatever. We're gonna put the Astra handlebars next to the stock OXIA handlebars that came on the Sherco with some awesome little cheap things that I got from Amazon, some little bar mounts. We're gonna make this so that we can actually see the comparison, we can measure, we can look right next to each other how different the bars are gonna look. Let's build this thing and see what happens. Let's measure how wide this bar mount should be. In this case, 4 inches is what we're going for. In real life, gosh, probably going for something a little bit bigger. You guys are gonna hate me for this, but here we go. So here you go. The comparison is there. You can see how much wider the clamping area is here. I'm not sure why they did that, but there you go. Maybe just because of the fact that it's got to be lower. They need more space there for rigidity in the bars. But you can see just how tall. Now, granted, I'm in my linear lens, so there is gonna be some lens effects to this, but you can easily see how much taller those bars are. I have some pictures on Instagram so you guys can see that. But this is kind of why I wanted to make this little comparison so that you guys could just see how kind of ridiculously different these bars are. It looks like the sweep back is very similar. Unfortunately, I don't know what the dimensions are on the stock Sherco bars that I had on the 18. But again, too, so there's kind of good spot to see just how different those bars really are. Got a couple more angles here. This is all for fun, just kind of trying to showcase how different these bars are going to be. And then here's a top shot. It looks like they're a little bit narrower as well. I mean, by a good amount. So we'll kind of see what happens. It's going to be interesting to put these guys on. We're going to go ride. I've got the ZRT throttle body, so zero resistance throttle body that I've been wanting to try, but I have to cut the bars to put it on. And since these bars are so different, I think I'm going to hold off putting this on so I can go ride tomorrow when we go out to Warren's property, and then also going to Talahina for the Talamina ride next weekend. I think will be a great way to get used to the handlebars and really feel them out, move them around a little bit and play with the idea. And then once I kind of think I get what they're trying to say and if I like them, then I'm gonna go ahead and adjust and put the ZRT throttle body on there. So I think this cockpit update video is gonna be a two-parter, but I think it's gonna be for the better in the long run so I can get more correct information out to you guys about these lower crisp Birch Astra off-road handlebars. See how this goes. All right, Papa Pierce, you're seeing those Astra crisp Birch bars pretty low. What are your first thoughts?
Well, again, being 6'5", what I always liked was the higher bar, so I would open up the cockpit a little bit and make it a little more roomy for me. But a lot of guys like the lower bars because it forces them into a lower body position and more of a tuck. And as you're getting bars, 3 things to look at. You've got the rise, and you can see here that definitely a different rise. You've got the tape, the pullback. If you remember, your old Schwinn bike had a 90-degree pullback. And then you've got the width. Well, stock, the Astra bars are about 1 inch narrower, so they're probably tight woods bars more than anything else. But this is the bar that comes stock on the Shercos. But before you go off and just start changing stuff, you got to kind of understand what your triple clamps are doing, because bikes have different triple clamp heights. So if you're going to experiment, the thing to do is get some seat time with both.
Well, we tried to not look like a monkey flubbing a football, but unfortunately that took way longer than we thought it would. But now we're gonna go finally test it out and see how it feels.
Like a T-Rex with arthritis.
Pretty much. Guys, obviously just a few laps here, right? 30 minutes in and out of the woods on the grass track on the bars, but so far you can actually feel what I think they're wanting you to feel with these bars. Though they're not wider, right? They're more narrow. It feels like you have more control and more pull on the outside of the bars. Maybe that's because of the sweep. Maybe that's because of the fact that they're a lot lower. And I did notice that I did feel like I was in more of an aggressive attack position, and with my elbows bent, that motion was transferring to controlling the bike more, which I believe is what they're going for. So I'm gonna go ride next weekend, 8 hours plus on the bike, 70, 80 miles with some dudes in Oklahoma. Should be cool. That will be the real test. So let's just keep riding these bars and we'll have more for you soon. So if you follow me on social, at Seat Time on Instagram and all the Facebooks and things, you see the Talamina ride did not go as expected. What was supposed to be potentially wet in the low 40s turned into high 20s and 2 to 3 inches of snow. Thank you, Todd York, for the pictures. So I didn't get a chance to ride the bars at the Talamina ride as I would have liked. Good news, I'm gonna go to the Bartow Ranch Enduro this coming weekend, so February 21st here in North Texas in Callisburg. That should give me quite a few amount of hours on the bars to continue to ride with them. So what I said earlier on when I got a chance to ride the bars, I still feel that when I am out at the Warren's property riding the bars. You can really feel how minute movements in your elbows really do control and turn into movement at the handlebars. One of the things that was interesting is what my dad saying, being 6'5" and trying to get taller bars. Remember, as you get taller bars, your hands come away from the triple clamps. Literally, if the triple clamps are here and we have the Astra bar that's say up here, but you get higher bars, your hands, your contact points to the motorcycle are now farther away from that rotational mass that you're trying to use to control and pinpoint the motorcycle. I think that's why from my dad's generation on motorcycles with getting bar risers, we've seen now more people lowering their foot pegs, because then their arms and the way they're contacting themselves, controlling the motorcycle, stays more relative to the triple clamp, where they lower their legs a little bit by lowering their feet, so their rider triangle doesn't elevate as much to then have the controls be way up here. If that's something that you want to look into and you are a taller rider and feel like you need more space in the cockpit, look into lowering those foot pegs. That's something I'd love to try to see what that looks like. Not that I feel like I'm tall, again, just to see
I can talk about that later on. So if you guys have lowered your foot pegs, let me know in the comments below how that's worked for you, and maybe some brands that I should look at to see how that's gonna go. So thank you for watching this video. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. There's gonna be links to all of the pieces and parts that were included in this video. I hope you enjoyed it. What questions do you have? What comments do you have? What would you have rather seen? What would you like to see in the future? For part 2, we're gonna install that ZRT throttle. Again, I'm gonna leave that for a while. I want to ride these handlebars on the motorcycle for a while and be able to and really understand what they're trying to tell me before I start adding in another aspect, right? Minute changes over time, try to become a little bit better, faster racer. Remember guys, we have our Why I Ride project, so seattime.co. You can go see the Why I Ride project there. Submit your story to help us collect and curate all the reasons that we are so much more connected than I think a lot of us realize. And if you want to support Seat Time, go to shop.seattime.co and you can get things like our 1 Down 5 Up shirt there. This is the Raglan, so if you're into those, I love these baseball tees. Then you can also get, we have some more of the limited edition shirts, and then of course these shirts that support the Why I Ride project. So I Ride to Feel Free. Look for new merch in that vein coming March 19th. We're going to talk about a little bit with Portia Murdoch. So thank you guys for tuning in. I hope you're having a great time riding your dirt bike. All right guys, if I don't see you on the trail, I'll see you on the internet. Peace.